Hello, I'm Jenny Archbold. I'm the global lead for reducing environmental footprint at the Norwegian Refugee Council. Previously, I was an emergency logistic manager in the humanitarian sector, working across the Middle East and Africa. Reducing fleet emissions in the humanitarian sector is difficult. We want to work in an environmentally conscious way, but each context comes with its own challenges. There isn't a single approach to eliminating emissions, but it isn't impossible. So by taking a framework approach, we use a menu of solutions and prioritize. We can thereby reduce our emissions in the humanitarian sector in a way that's tailored to the context. The avoid, shift, improve approach is a way of prioritizing and using that menu well to adapt to each context. So firstly, avoid. This is where we can cut emissions altogether from some journeys. It might be that we don't have to travel in some cases, or we can use alternative forms of transports, such as walking short distances, using bikes, or using public transport where that's appropriate. We can also carpool both internally and externally, sharing vehicles between teams and externally even between organizations. And this is where there's huge potential in the humanitarian sector to actually cut emissions on quite a wide scale. Fleet Forum is currently piloting a carpooling project in Lebanon, where by sharing vehicles, organizations reduce their emission footprints for common journeys. For a very common journey, there's even a bus which has replaced many journeys by cars for a number of organizations. Carpooling is most useful where multiple teams travel to the same location, and that is quite common in the humanitarian sector. So secondly, shift. This is for the journeys we can't avoid. So we will still need to travel by vehicle, but we can make changes to our fleet to choose more efficient vehicles and so reduce our emissions. When we think of the humanitarian sector, we think of big 4x4 vehicles, enormous trucks delivering aid, and that picture of driving through the jungle across desert off-road. But the reality is much more mixed. We do drive through jungles and deserts, and we need vehicles that are suitable for that. But we also drive through towns and on tarmac roads, and it's often there are more efficient vehicles for those environments. So choosing the right vehicle for the right context is really important. There will continue to be need in the humanitarian sector for specialist off-road vehicles, other higher emitting vehicles, but we can be aware of our context, we can monitor our context and do up-to-date assessments, both of our needs and the infrastructure. New roads are built every day, and that means that sometimes the needs of our organization last year will not be the same as this year. Understanding how we use our vehicles enables us to make more efficient choices. So for example, in the Norwegian Refugee Council, the Burkina Faso team looked at their fleet, looked at the local infrastructure, and they do need off-road vehicles in quite a number of places, but they're also using sedan vehicles in some towns, and they have one of electric vehicles, which they're able to use in the city. So being aware of our context and the changes to infrastructure over time can make a big difference. The third step is improve. So once we've avoided all the journeys we can, made changes to our fleet to make it more efficient, we can also do a whole range of things to incrementally improve our fleet by monitoring and using that data to make incremental changes to our fleet management, to our utilization. Good data is at the heart of this. So understanding our utilization enables our fleet managers to make small changes which reduce emissions over time. In NRC, we've approached this in 3 steps. So the first is collection, making sure we've got systems in place that consistently collect the data we need. We introduced a fleet monitoring system called Deliver some years ago, which now means our teams report their fleet data on a monthly basis, and we can also bring that data together internationally. The second step is the analysis, making that data useful, meaningful, linking it to the decisions that are being made. And that means that our teams are able to use that data to spot the opportunities to reduce emissions. And finally, culture. So incorporating emissions reduction into decision making, ensuring that that is one of the criteria on which we make decisions, so that we have the data available and we use it to take action. So in conclusion, using the avoid, shift, improve approach, we can avoid unnecessary or inefficient journeys. We can shift the makeup of our fleet to be more efficient, and we can improve using fleet monitoring to make incremental improvements to our utilization and fleet management. It will be challenging, but we can reduce the fleet emissions in the humanitarian sector. Thank you very much.